Greetings, metalheads. Welcome back to the Banger Bar for Overkill Reviews. This is our last review of the summer until we're back in the fall. This week, I'm reviewing the new record from Whitechapel called Mark of the Blade, released last week on Metal Blade Records. So, who's Whitechapel? Well, they were formed in Tennessee in 2006, and this record is their sixth full-length release. And there's already a lot of talk about how this record is a bit of a departure from the band's deathcore roots. So, let's see what it sounds like. The first track on Mark of the Blade is called The Void, and what else can I say other than buckle up? So The Void there is opening with a pretty typical Whitechapel bludgeoning opening riff, but by mid-song, they're starting already to mix things up on this record. Listen to this. So Whitechapel there, expanding the sound, fully utilizing their three guitar attack there, giving a little bit more melodicism than what we may have heard on previous records. But by the end of the song, give you the knockout punch with some more unbridled heaviness. Track 3 on the record is called Elitist Ones. It's the video track from the album. And again, the band settling down more into a slower to mid-tempo groove on this song. And wow, this production just screams pure Meshuggah to me. Listen to this. Whitechapel take that riff right into the chorus, and not unlike Nails last week, Whitechapel are also engaging in a full-out assault against posers in the metal scene.
This is what we have become, a self-absorbed population of scum. The vision of the future is like staring at the sun. The elitist ones.
So on that chorus of Elitist Ones, vocalist Phil Bozeman screams, "This is what we have become, a self-absorbed population of scum. The vision of the future is like staring at the sun. God damn, the Elitist Ones." And I don't know if this is signaling something larger in the metal community right now, but there seems to be more and more songs where bands are saying, don't fucking try and co-opt or impose on our scene. It's ours, and if you're a poser, we don't want you to be part of this. Anyway, at the end of Elitist Ones, Bozeman ratchets it up even further and says that karma will come for your neck. So, apart from the band so far settling into more of a mid-tempo groove feel on this record compared to previous albums, still feeling like pretty familiar territory. So next track. Next track I want to dig into on Mark of the Blade is called Bring Me Home, and vocalist Bozeman taps into some pretty emotional territory on this song.
I close my eyes and count to 10. The seconds turn to years, and slowly I've been recognizing everything. When adolescent mind, it's so dark here.
So the story behind this song is that vocalist Bozeman's father passed away when Phil was 10 years old, and through this song, he's dealing with the grief from that experience. And a lot has been made already of the clean vocals on this song for Whitechapel. And whether it's intentional or not, certainly Bozeman is showing his affinity for a kind of Maynard James Keenan approach to clean vocals. And I will say, does a pretty good job. But once again, not unlike with Randy Blythe on the last Lamb of God record, using clean vocals has really polarized the Whitechapel community. But by the chorus, he takes us back into more familiar territory. And if you pay close attention to the lyrics of this song, I will say that Bozeman does a great job of bringing you into his emotion. He screams there, and for the first time I feel alive, but you're not here. And you gotta commend a band that's largely been in the very complex, very fast, very, very extreme end of the metal spectrum. They're trying something a little bit different. All right, last song. My favorite track on Mark of the Blade is called Brotherhood. It's an instrumental. Love this opening riff. Whitechapel there are giving us a much more prog metal kind of sound than their typical deathcore. It makes me think of a heavier kind of Between the Buried and Me. And by the middle of the track, they really let those three guitars breathe. Now, I'm personally really liking that bigger, more ambitious sound here with Whitechapel. And in the press, the band's been talking about, well, we've been together for 10 years, and so they really want to show their maturity and try some new things, and I think it really works here. And for the end of the song, they take you out like this. So yeah, Brotherhood, no doubt my favorite track on the record, showing the full ambition of the band, but let's sum up this record as a whole. So what's my verdict on Mark of the Blade? Well, I was expecting this album to be more experimental than it was, given all the talk about how this record was going to be a real departure from Whitechapel's previous albums. I frankly liked it when the band was stretching out on the instrumental Brotherhood or even playing with some of the clean vocals. And why? Well, for one, I feel the vocals are largely one-dimensional. They're super high in the mix and don't offer a lot of variation or character. And also for a band with three guitars, I'm not coming away from this album with a lot of riff memory, not a lot of goosebumps coming up on the arms because of amazing parts that this band has hit. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a highly competent, very modern, very brutal extreme metal record that will no doubt appeal to Whitechapel's large and growing fan base. Many of you asked me to review this record, but frankly, I expected a bit more from a band on their 10th anniversary and on their 6th full-length release. So, 2.5 out of 5 skulls on Overkill Reviews.